Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning, Amma. Are you hearing my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So before going to the today's concept as a part of historiography and historical method, we are in the aims and objectives and scope of history. In the last class, we completed the scope of history and some of the things regarding aims and objectives. Okay, so today we see about history, its relation with other social sciences. Okay, so as a part of historiography, we have to go through with the relation of particular subject with other subjects also. Okay, so history is nothing but one of the major subject in the part of social science, and history having relation with each and every subject of social science, not only social science, relation with other sciences and arts also. Okay, so as a part of social science, history had some close relation with other social sciences. Okay, so before going to history relation with other social sciences, I have to give you the things which we discussed in the earlier class, and I have to recap the points once. Okay, so in the last class, we discussed about the scope of the history and scope of the history is somewhat vast when compared to the other subjects, and it is the story of man, you are well known, and in relation to the totality of his behavior. Okay, so in relation to its behavior of a man, and the scope of history, which means the breadth in the sense, the broad sense, and comprehensiveness, and variety, and the extent of learning and experiences which provided by the study, and history which was only limited to the local saga, as during the course of century became universal history of mankind, and depicting man's achievements in every field of life, basically the political, economic, social, cultural, and scientific, and religious, everything which comes under the history, and at various levels also. Okay, so at local and also regional and national and international level. Okay, so it start with the past. Basically, history which start with the past, and start from the beginning of the man, and makes the present as a sheet anchor, and points to the future. It shows the path or way to the future. Okay, so you can learn the lessons from the past, and you can adjust, or you can rearrange the things which there are some mistakes in the past, and you can you can show a better way without any mistakes, or again repeating those mistakes, and you can show a clear path to the future. Okay, by learning certain lessons from the past events. Okay, so likewise, history had a great role in the life of a man, life of a human being. Okay, so without knowing history, you don't have a better future. Okay, so without going through the historical events, or without knowing about your ancestral history or any particular history, you cannot see the future basically. Okay, so you can go through without any light, without any proper guidance. You can go through, and your way may be some maybe some blind path. Okay, so it may be not clear path. It may be some mistakes you can repeat again. Okay, so while going with the history, knowing the everything in history, and by following the history, you can learn some lessons. Any mistakes that taken place, you can solve, and without leaving that and filling the gaps, and you can show your path very clearly in the future. Okay, so that's why. But here we are speaking about the scope. Scope as a part of the time period, and it's a boundary. Okay, so you can know the history of particular region, or a particular nation, or a particular world. Okay, so and it may be some limits. While knowing the history, it may be some limits. You cannot go through the at a time all histories. Okay, so and you cannot go through the history of a whole world, or from ancient to the modern. Okay, so for better understanding, you can divide the history into certain phases. Okay, so like you are well known, history may be divided into the ancient, and first of all we prehistoric, and ancient, medieval, modern, contemporary. Likewise, you have to be divide these into certain phases or time bound to having the better understanding and without any confusion. Okay, so these are the things we discussed in the last class. And apart from the scope, we also having some things regarding the aims and objectives for history while moving, knowing the history and learning the history. There are certain aims of history, like to promote self-understanding and to give proper concept space and society, and to enable the students or learner to assess the values and achievements of their own age, and to teach some tolerance. Okay, so as a part of history, you have you may be aware some violence through certain wars and battles, because as a part of political history, the wars and battles may be highlighted. And in the Western history, particularly, when you see the European history, it's totally about the political events, including the wars and battles. Okay, so you cannot suggest any reader or a learner regarding such violent events. Okay, to avoid that type of events, you can train these learner or historian about following the tolerance. Okay, so following the non-violence, or like that, and to develop right attitude. Okay, so by following the history, knowing the history, you can have some behaviors of particular ruler or a emperor. Sometimes you see some cruelty, cruel-minded, and some mischievous things which followed by some emperors or rulers in the past. So you avoid those things again as a part of behavior. You can show some of you have to develop the right attitude in the minds of particular student or a learner or a fresh historian or like that. Okay, so development of right attitude is based on a application of things which are worthwhile in the life. Okay, so generally the attitudes which depend on upon the intellectual and emotional factors. So you have to be insist some of the right attitudes in the minds of the freshners. Okay, and to foster national feelings. Okay, so while knowing the history, definitely as a teacher or as a historian, you have to highlight the patriotic the events basically, and you have to encourage the learner towards the this nationalistic feeling through the patriotic events. Okay, so while going through a history of a nation, you have to be follow some nationalistic feeling. Okay, so without nationalistic feeling, you cannot know about the particular history of a nation or like that. And it's an important objective of knowing the history is the emotional and national integration of particular nations, the people of the nation. And emotional integration is a feeling of oneness. Okay, so the emotional integration definitely create the oneness, a unity among the people. Okay, so in the because you well known about the cultures of particular nations, the nation itself cannot have a single culture or a single region or race or any community or like that. It's a combination of number of cultures, number of races and religions likewise. Okay, so you have to inculcate some of the oneness, the feeling of oneness in the minds of various cultures. Okay, so and you have and develop international understanding, and because the world peace is must universal peace is must here, and history should be create some of the things regarding the universal peace. Okay, so peace and security. Okay, so that should be you learn from the history one, and to give training for handling controversial issues. Okay, so we already discussed in the last class about the same. You have to be train the young historians and teachers or learners about certain while moving with some controversial issues. Okay, so as a part of history, you find number of controversies regarding the background of races and the culture and traditions of particular race. You find number of controversial issues, and while moving with that controversial issues, you should be a neutral. Okay, so you should be a neutral one. You should create some of the peacefulness among those things. Okay, so those also learns from the history. Okay, so history, you are teaching history or giving history or writing history helps these students or historians to handle controversial questions in a spirit that searches for truth, insists on free dimension, and permits compromise. Okay, so here you have to be create some of the peacefulness while following certain thoughts and ideologies. Okay, so and another one is to teach the moral principles. Okay, so history can create the space to follow some moral principles, ethics. Okay, so history without ethics or without values, you cannot say the complete history. Okay, so because history can highlight the morals first of all, and give a space to the learners to know the ethics first of all, and then he must be must be a complete historian. Okay, so without morals and ethics, you cannot see the history. Okay, so here history can teach and or inculcate moral values in the minds of new historians or student mind. Okay, so first of all, the life stories of great saints, heroes, and reformers. You should be you should you should aware those students about the stories of a particular great personalities in the history. Okay, so and to promote the socialization among the people, first of all, and the main aim of one of the main aim of history teaching is the socialization of the students in order to make them well informed and enlightened citizens and capable of promoting common welfare or like that. Okay, so when you see not only that, we also discussed about to promote an understanding of the process of change and acquire knowledge of significant world events and to promote an understanding of the common understand the common roots of human civilization and to develop an appreciation of the contributions made by various values and to develop an okay, so to develop an understanding of casual relationships. Okay, so these are certain aims we discussed in the last class, and when you see the objectives of history, you can know the knowledge. Okay, so first of all, the people. Okay, so the people should acquire knowledge of terms, concepts, facts, and events, symbols, ideas, any problems, trends, and personalities, chronology, everything related to the study of history. Okay, so here you should recall the facts, terms, concepts, events, etc. And recognize facts, terms, concepts, events, etc., and show some information on the maps, charts, and diagrams, and there should be a better understanding. And students or learners should develop understanding of terms, facts, and events like you have to guide the people, guide the student to be classify certain facts and events, terms, and concepts also. Okay, so and identifying relationship between the cause and effect, means and ends, arrange the facts and trends, etc., in a particular known order. Okay, so and you should create some critical thinking in the minds of those students. Okay, sorry, learners, and the subject should enable the student to develop critical thinking, and so that the student should be able to get identifying problems and analyze the problems, collect some evidences and shift the evidences. Okay, so facts, opinions, and select relevant evidence and facts, and establish relationship and certain facts. Okay, so and the history also get some practical skills also. Okay, so the subject should enable the students to develop practical skills helpful in the study and understanding historical facts, so that the student can easily follow the maps, charts, and diagrams and prepare some models and things are like that. Okay, so you have to create the interest in the minds of a student or a new historians. Okay, so and by following these, the student can know and he can follow some collecting points and other historical material which available to them, and prepare some of the materials and participate in historical dramas or mock sessions, and visit certain places of historical interest and archaeological sites, museums, archives. Okay, so he also the students also read historical documents and maps, and the history while giving history, while guiding the student, they can know how to write articles on historical and other related topics, and by following the history, the people can change their attitude according to the situations also. Okay, so the subject should enable the new learner to develop healthy social attitudes. Okay, so according to the students can follow, possess sense of patriotism, and show the respect towards the people's opinion, ideas and beliefs and way of life, and read about the faith and religion, and respect the other religions apart from his own religion, and establish friendship with other communities and faiths, and practice the spirit of noble ideal, and cooperate with others in the social and civic activities. Okay, so these are certain things the student or a learner can get through the going through the history, or reading the history, or following the history. Okay, so these are the aims and objectives we already discussed in the last class. And today we are going to see about the history relation with other social sciences. Okay, so I will give you, I will continue my lecture. First of all, I have to share my screen, then I will continue my lecture. Students, are you getting my screen? Students, screen కనిపిస్తుందా?
సార్ వస్తుంది సార్.
Right. Okay, so history and social science. Okay, so history relation with other social science, and any discipline of human knowledge could not able to develop in remoteness and isolation, because every discipline had depend on other allied subjects also. Okay, so without depending on other related or allied subjects, you cannot have the particular subject independently. Okay, so and where the during in the 20th century, you find some homogeneous nature of subject is related to some of the heterogeneous nature. Okay, so every subject had various corners. Okay, so various ways. Okay, so because as a part of history, you can have the things related to geography, political science, public administration, nothing but the constitutional studies. Okay, so and also have the things regarding the sociology while moving, while going with the society, you definitely have the things related to the sociology and social work. Okay, so and while moving with the economical aspects, you definitely have the things regarding the finance and the economy are like that. Okay, so while moving with the boundaries or limits of a particular a nation or a territory, you have some things over knowing over the geographical features. Okay, so and environment are like that. So likewise, number of heterogeneous facts or sites you have to see. Okay, so because as a part of history, all these comes, or sometimes you have to read these while knowing the history. And nature of social science is interdisciplinary approach and collaboration among the social science. Okay, so social science is nothing but a interdisciplinary approach, and where the number of subjects you see. Okay, so even though you have the things of the science like natural and space technology and environmental science, have the things you have to know from the social science. Okay, so the social science had a relation with other sciences also. Okay, so according to the Mark Bloch, history is the basis of all knowledge, and everything which comes under the history only. Okay, so without history of a particular subject, you cannot go through a complete loop. Okay, so according to Edward Thompson, he is saying that history is the queen of all social science. History is mother of all social science. Okay, so because every subject in the social science had direct relation with the history. Okay, so without knowing the history, you don't have the complete understanding over the particular subjects. Okay. Okay, so and history being a comprehensive subject has many aspects such as political, constitutional, diplomatic, economic, social, intellectual, so on. Okay, so history it's a comprehensive, very extensive subject, and where you find things regarding various subjects of social science and sciences also you will go through as a part of science, sorry, history. And history is a study of various facts of human life, and is closely linked with other social sciences which make specific study of different facts and human life. And many scholars had view that history is the center of the social science which feeds other social sciences are like that. Okay, so first of all, we'll moving with one by one, and first of all, I will give you about history and political science. We have to see the relation with history and political science first of all. And political history depends a great share in the workshop of history. Okay, so politics is instrumental in shaping the constitutional, legal, diplomatic, economic, and social problems of a country. Okay, so Professor Seeley, according to Professor Seeley, he summed up the relation between history and political science in a beautiful way. Okay, so history without political science has no fruit, and political science without history has no root. Okay, so according to Professor Seeley, the saying is some universal one. Okay, so you are saying you have to accept by everyone. Okay, so history without political science has no root, no fruit, and political science without history has no root. So a historian is not merely concerned with the tracing of the history of political process by narration of the episodes. Okay, so and but he has to learn the nature of fundamental political principles and basic forms of political institution. And in the view of this closeness between two subjects, the development of political institutions, rules, regulations, right and duties, and rights and duties, and law and mode of justice, executive, legislative, and administrative functions, and economic and financial implications, nature of bureaucracy, and fundamental principles of the state policy are all defined under the constitution of history itself. And when you see the diplomatic history as a part of political things, and diplomatic history is a specialized branch of political history, and which deals with the principles of international relations. And ambassadors are the envoys, or ambassadors are the link between the nations with their custodians and practitioners of diplomacy. And the issues like balance of power, Cold War, international peace, disarmament have assumed great importance in the recent times as a part of world history. And the military history is an important chapter in the political history, where in the wars, battles, campaigns, and conquest figures very prominently. And it deals with the causes of war, strategy, and war tactics, war weapons, etc. And history is very helpful to politics because the political aspects is a part of the whole range of activity recorded by historian, and the knowledge of history would enable the politicians to know the politics better and play their role effectively. Okay, so according to Professor Acton, as correctly pointed out, the science of politics is the one science that is deposited by the stream of history, like grains of gold in a sand of a river. Okay, so the science of politics is the one science that is deposited in the stream of history. Okay, so it is already in the history as a part of history, like grains of gold in the sand of river. Okay, so you have to be pick up. Okay, you have to be pick up the political things from the history, right? So this is a nothing. It's a continuous or you can. It's a continuous relation between the history and political science. And history helps to understand the main principles of political science, such as republic, democracy, nationalism, imperialism, and colonialism are like that. And English historians went to extent of saying that all history is political history. And according to Seeley, we already discussed about this Seeley's saying history and political science are inseparably connected. Okay, so you cannot separate political science and history. Okay, so after that, we have history relation with other social science like history and constitutional studies like public administration. And related to politics, constitutional studies assist in the understanding of following items. The political institutions you are well known, and you can aware to following these constitutional studies as a part of history, and the rules, regulations, rights and duties, and mode of justice, executive, legislative, administrative functions, nature of bureaucracy, all will comes under the constitutional studies and as a part of history, as a part of political science. And history and diplomatic studies we already covered, and I will give you once. It deals with the principles of international principles, issues such as balance of power, Cold War, international peace, disarmament. Okay, so everything you studied under it and in the perspective of history. And diplomatic history deals with history of international relations between the state. Okay, so and diplomatic history tends to be more concerned with the history of diplomacy, whereas in international relations, ideals more with current events and creating a model intended to shed explanatory light on the international politics. Okay, so and when you see other things like history and economics, and history and economics had also a close relation, and history is also closely related to economics, as the activities of a man in society are very closely related with the economic matters. The historian of any period must possess at least a rudimentary knowledge of economics. In fact, economic history of any period is an important branch of history, and its understanding is absolutely essential for the proper understanding of history of any time. And there has been a new orientation in our historical outlook from the days of materialistic interpretation of history by Marx, and such class struggle, man's skill in earning, arts and crafts, trade, business and commerce, land revenue, taxes, and a host of all other economic activities of the past figure very prominently as a part and parcel of history. And no doubt, it is true that during the last few years, economics has become very complex and difficult subject and mostly depend on the mathematics, and a modern historian cannot acquire basic working knowledge of economic theory without devoting a lot of time and leaving little time for the study and writing of history. And therefore, a new set of economic history by the use of economic historians have emerged who try to study the economic history by the use of the economic tools. At present, history is so closely interlinked with the study of economic problems that it would not be possible to reconstruct history without knowledge of the relevant economic problems. Okay, so and there has been a new orientation in historical outlook from the days of materialistic interpretation of history by Marx. Sorry, history by Marx is different with the other historians or economists. And economic theories, particularly mainstream of all historical activities, whether war or conquest, colonization or imperialism, are originated because of economic motives only. Okay, so economic motive is one of the cause or factor behind all these historical things. And economics influences history, and historical knowledge help us to understand economic principles. Okay, so and Indian historians such as Hiren Mukherjee and Palme Dutt, Kosambi, Muhammad Irfan Habib, and others were greatly impressed by Marxism thought. And you are well known that during the British Indian period, which is the drain of wealth theory, which is propounded by Dadabhai Nauroji, which is one of the great important part as a part of economy, which included in history. And R.C. Dutt, who highlighted the national income during the time of the British India. Okay, so you have to be know the economical history of a nation or a particular region. And according to D.D. Kosambi, history is essentially the change of mode of production in successive periods in the history. Okay, so likewise, you have to know about the history and economics. Okay, so and when you see history and sociology, and before going to history and sociology, I will give you one or two points regarding history and relation with the statistics. Okay, so as a statistic, as a part of economy. Okay, so in the present century, the writings of history has been greatly influenced by historical data. And with invention of computers, the collection of statistical data has become possible. The historians have given up the former practice of using in the exact terms like majority of historians or people as a wide support, and have started quoting exact percentage of the people or help the computer, and processing of enormous data can be completed within a short span, and systematic information can be collected. Okay, so though the conclusion drawn on the basis of the data may be known to the historians on the basis of impression or impressionistic evidence, which does reduce the value because it provides a concrete evidence for a previously held certain thesis. Okay, so and you have to be know certain theories as a part of statistics, and you have to be depend on empirical data. If you while moving or preparing a thesis on a particular concept or a subject, you have to be insist some of the data based information, and you have to be depend on some empirical data, and the empirical data or the secondary data, you have to be go through the statistics only. Okay, so likewise, you definitely depend on statistics so that the statistics also have a relation with social science. You cannot deviate from the history, and you cannot deviate the history from the statistics, and the statistics from the history. Okay, so and when you see history and sociology, and you all know that as a part of history, you have to go through the society, every society definitely. Okay, so while moving a regional history or national history or international history, you definitely have the things about the society. Okay, so you are moving with the society is nothing but studying the sociology, right? So sociology deals with institutions and the problems dealing with man and society, particularly customs, manners, habits, food, dress habits, amusements, family life, folklore, and festivals and ceremonies are like that. Okay. So, and history and sociology are intimately related. And a number of sociologists like A. Comte are also important figure in the development of historical studies. And Karl Marx was also a great historian and a sociologist. Both history, sociology are concerned with the study of man in society and differed only with regard to their approach. Okay, so in recent years, it was realized that a fruitful intention between the two disciplines was possible, and it may be and like Max Weber acknowledged the initial dependence of sociology upon the history. Okay, so history too benefits from the synthesis produced by the sociologists or sociology. Okay, so here the sociologists exercised profound influence on the study of history by developing the certain narrow areas of human activity, and they adopted the sampling techniques and developed their tools with a view to minimize the subjective element. And in brief, sociology is helping history to study social dynamics, which is the study not society at rest, but constantly in social change and development social processes and social causation are giving a new perspective to history. And India, too, our historians are now giving increasing attention to social history. Okay, so the sociology needs history as much as history needs in order to describe social behavioral patterns, and the sociology is helping history to study social factors, which is study not a society at rest, but constantly in social change and developments. Okay, so students. I have to end up my class today at this moment, and there are many other subjects with relation with history, and I will continue the same concept tomorrow again, and the remaining things I will give you tomorrow, and history relation with other social science like anthropology and many other social sciences are there, geography are like that. Okay, so I will continue tomorrow as the same concept, history relation with other social science, because it's already completed 45 minutes are like that. Okay, because I have to continue another class. So I will take a 15 to 20 minutes break, and I will continue my class again. Okay, so students, are you hearing?
Sir,
Right. So have you any doubts or questions regarding this?
no, sir.
No? Right. Shall I end my class now?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So I am ending my class. I will again continue my class after 15 or 20 minutes. Okay.